Hey guys, welcome back to a tutorial on building a giant Rubik's Cube of variable size in Minecraft. And using a mod, of course, using programming. Now, where we left off last time is I challenged you guys to build a function to build one of the building blocks for the Rubik's Cube. It was a wall, okay? And I'll show you the output that you should be getting with this function right now. So there's a wall, and this was my perspective when I called it, which appears to be a depth kind of wall, one that expands up and down and away from you. Now, I'm going to change a little bit of something on how I'm calling this function now, and magically different behavior happens. So you can see that that's a flexible way to build the function. Alright, and then one last one. So there's these three different kinds of walls that we have. This was my original perspective right here. And we have the long, extending away from you, tall wall. We have the tall, extending to the right and left of you kind of wall. And then we have the wide and flat wall, what I call the platform wall. Alright, and this is just going to make it very, very easy to employ these functions to build something larger like a cube. Like you can tell, this is already kind of looking like a cube. And in a second I'm going to show you guys the code, but what I want you guys to do once I show you the code is put this stuff together yourself to build a cube. Like this. So there's that, and then and what you want to do when you're doing, if you want to kind of practice building the wall and get an idea of how you're building it, is you want to keep the same perspective angle on your function if you wanted to get an accurate idea of the way that you're going to have to call the function. Because remember, once you run the code, it's all going to run very, very quickly. You're not going to have time to change the perspective, or you can, but it's a little more difficult. So there's a cube. So as you can guess, I had to call that function 6 times. Oh wait, I did 5 times. Let's call it the 6th time here. Nice little lid. Alright, so that's what that is, or that's what you should be able to do with your function. Now let's look at the code. Here's my main function, and you saw me changing these numbers here as I was calling it. It's just a handy little trick you can do. So I was able to change this number, which corresponds, this 2 that you see here, that corresponds to the wall type, which is then in the main function as being passed into my build wall. That's how I was able to magically change the behavior without having to switch back and change my code. Okay, so build wall function. Alright, and this is going to take a little explaining, but let's start with a little context. Originally, when I built these functions, I built 3 separate functions. One for a depth wall, one for a face wall, and one for a platform. And I noticed that they all pretty much do the exact same thing. The only difference was the direction that the drone was being moved in between each block placement. So I decided to make just one function, and that's what I cued you guys to do in the last tutorial. One function that takes the wall type and does those evaluations for you. Okay, and you'll notice this additional function, which you might get mad at me thinking, man, you didn't tell me what this is. Traverse column. So all this traverse column, back traverse column, traverse row, back traverse row. All these things are doing is they're taking the evaluations of the wall type and just putting in this neat package. See, because originally when I built it, this is kind of what it looked like. So that's a traverse row. Let's not mix these up. Traverse column. So this is what this would have looked like if I didn't have these things nicely wrapped in these functions. Someone might come to my build wall function and just think, oh my gosh, what a mess. back traverse row. So you have, it was just really long and like an ugly looking function. So try to put these things back. That's why I decided to wrap them, so to speak. Alright, so you can take a look at this code if you didn't get your output correct, didn't get your walls working correctly, and get some ideas on how to modify it to make it work correctly. Or if all else fails, you can just copy these things down. But I really recommend try to just modify yours the way that you already have it to get it working in the same way. Okay, and then so that's your little challenge for now. And then once you get it working, put it together to build this cube like I have here. Oops, I just ran it again and got this little ledge. Okay, so that's your challenge now. And in the next video, we'll take a look at my build cube function, and then we'll get working on the next challenging part of this problem, which is the actual color faces. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.